Tom Cruise may have had a huge box office hit with the recent Top Gun Maverick, but people are still talking smack about the actor's personal life. One of the strangest tales surrounding Tom is that of the relationship between him and his only blood child. Join Facts First as we explore how Tom Cruise has officially abandoned his daughter Suri. It's rare that Suri Cruise ends up in the news. Suri is the 16-year-old daughter of Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes, who were married for a relatively brief time in the 2000s. When their marriage fell apart, Katie received custody of her daughter and a modest settlement. The last time Tom and Suri were publicly seen together was on a trip to Disneyland shortly afterwards. In the years since, many have understandably become curious about whether or not Tom even sees his daughter. The divorce settlement gave Tom 10 days of visitation per month, but it appears the movie star has long since opted out of taking the offer up. For the most part, the story of Tom and Suri has flown under the radar in the decades since the divorce. Katie Holmes does her best to keep her daughter's name out of the papers, which means it's easy to forget she exists. However, Suri recently performed the opening credits song for her mother's film Alone Together. This caused people to start talking about her again, which inevitably led them to theorize about her relationship with her father. In addition to starring Katie Holmes, Alone Together was also written and directed by the actress. Besides Katie, the film also stars Jim Sturgis. Suri doesn't make an appearance on screen, but her singing voice is prominent given that it can be heard over the opening credits. The song she recorded wasn't an original, it was a rendition of Blue Moon. Suri can be heard singing in Katie's recent film. According to Katie Holmes, she chose her daughter for the job because she simply thinks she was the right person for it. She believes her daughter is a very talented singer and is proud of the work she did on her cover of Blue Moon. Alone Together is a romantic dramedy that takes place during the COVID-19 pandemic. It was given a limited theatrical release in July of 2022, but ended up doing most of its business via streaming. Comparatively, Tom Cruise had a much bigger 2022 hit. It seems his box office success might be coming at the cost of his relationship with his daughter, though, and one can easily assume Katie would prefer her daughter's company to increased fame. Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes got married in 2006. That year, they had a daughter. Suri was born April 18th. Tom was so excited about Katie becoming pregnant, he purchased an ultrasound machine. He then used this machine to view his daughter routinely. It's been said that not a day went by during Katie's pregnancy that Tom didn't use the machine to take a peek inside of her. The news of this prompted the American Institute of Ultrasound and Medicine to issue a statement advising others against following his lead. Though the personal use of an ultrasound machine for such purposes isn't illegal, it certainly isn't suggested. To make up for the apparent infraction, Tom ended up donating the ultrasound machine to a hospital after Suri's birth. Tom was there for Suri's birth, and he could be heard afterwards claiming it was quite the spiritual experience. It seemed as if all was going well for the new trio of Tom, Katie, and Suri. That is, until Katie surprised her husband by asking for divorce in 2012. Some sources say that in the wake of the divorce, Tom hasn't talked to Suri since she was 7 years old. In 2013, rumors were spreading that Tom had abandoned his daughter. This caused the movie star to file a defamation lawsuit against the party responsible. However, the lawsuit didn't do all that much to sway the public to the actor's side. Whether Tom had abandoned Suri or not, it was painfully obvious something wasn't right between the increasingly estranged father-daughter pair. In the years since, things have only gotten worse. This video is sponsored by ZBiotics. ZBiotics is a probiotic drink that helps you feel better the day after drinking. Many people think dehydration is responsible for that morning after feeling, but it's actually due to an alcohol byproduct that builds up in the gut. ZBiotics produces an enzyme specifically to break down this byproduct and reduce the after effects of alcoholic beverages. This is real science that works, not random vitamins and plant extracts like everything else. And ZBiotics is so easy to use. Just drink a bottle of ZBiotics before your first drink of alcohol. You only need one bottle. Then drink responsibly, pace yourself, and get a good night's sleep. Thanks to ZBiotics, you can enjoy your next day feeling refreshed and ready to make the most of it. Every time I have ZBiotics before drinking, I am amazed at how good I feel the next day. With the holiday season upon us, consider gifting ZBiotics to give the gift of a better next morning. It's unique, thoughtful, and under $40. If you use the code FACTSFIRST at checkout, you can get an extra 15% off your first order. Click the link in the description or go to zbiotics.com/factsfirst and get 15% off. Tom Cruise has always stirred up controversy. The story of his strange relationship with his only blood child Suri isn't the only controversy surrounding Tom Cruise. In fact, the biggest controversy surrounding the actor is inarguably his continued association with the Church of Scientology. Those already familiar with the supposed religious organization may have already become curious about whether or not Tom's involvement with it has anything to do with his estrangement from his daughter. Though Tom himself claims that Scientology has nothing to do with his and his daughter's failed relationship, there is some evidence that suggests otherwise. People have often insinuated that Katie Holmes divorced from Tom solely as a means to protect her daughter from the church. When asked about this, Tom claims there's nothing about his religion that his daughter needs to be protected from. However, these claims spit in the face of the fact that Tom's involvement with the church was given as an explicit reason for Katie wanting a separation during the divorce proceedings. Even though Katie has never publicly stated that she divorced Tom because she wanted to protect Suri from Scientology, the fact that she listed her husband's association with the organization as one of her reasons for wanting divorce suggests she wants little to do with it. Whether it was part of the settlement or not, Katie has certainly kept her daughter at a far distance from Scientology since the divorce. Did the church label Suri a suppressive? People not that familiar with Scientology might look at all this info and wonder what the big deal is. The fact of the matter is, the Church of Scientology isn't too keen on people who leave it. In fact, people who leave are deemed suppressives, and it is forbidden for members of the church to interact with them. Of course, this revelation puts Tom's apparent abandonment of Suri in a different light. From the outside looking in, it's not hard to come to the conclusion that Tom broke off contact with his daughter at the young age of 7 because the church deemed her a suppressive. It seems the only way Tom has been a part of his only blood child's life since they parted ways is by paying some decidedly hefty sums in child support. As a part of the divorce settlement, Tom was ordered to pay $400,000 a year in child support and was also ordered to pay all of Suri's medical and educational expenses. These orders stand until Suri is 18, and she's 16 now. All in all, Tom has handed out many millions of dollars in child support at this point. However, he's worth around $600 million. Further evidence in support of the theory that Tom abandoned Suri because she's a suppressive is the fact that the actor has a perfectly fine relationship with both of his other children. Tom was married twice before marrying Katie. All 3 of the actor's wives have been notable actresses. His first wife was Mimi Rogers. They married in 1987 and divorced in 1990 and didn't have children together. That same year, he married Nicole Kidman. Tom's relationship with his adopted kids are fine. Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman were married from 1990 to 2001. They adopted 2 children. The marriage fell apart because of Tom's association with Scientology, just like his next one would. This time, though, Tom was able to keep the 2 kids in the church. He maintains close relationships with these 2 adopted children to this day. Their names are Connor and Isabella, and they could be seen praising their father's work on Top Gun Maverick on their social media accounts around the film's release. In 2019, a supposed insider made a comment to the press that Tom Cruise was still very much interested in having a relationship with Suri. The comment suggested there was some vague trouble keeping this from being a reality, but Tom was doing his best to persevere. Of course, the comment was a reaction to the continued claims that Tom had abandoned his daughter, which certainly have never been good for public relations. Outspoken former Scientologist Leah Remini is one person who definitely believes Tom abandoned Suri because the church labeled her a suppressive. However, Leah also believes Tom will be coming to try to induct her into the church as soon as she turns 18. Hopefully, Suri's strong relationship with her mother will prevent her from succumbing. Now it's time to hear from you. Did you know that Tom has allegedly not talked to his only blood child in over a decade? Let us know in the comments section below.